Hey friend, in this video I am giving to you the best and most underrated hack for composition with sketching. So we are going to be doing a little exercise that I've dove deep into in my courses, but I'm going to give you a little glimpse of it here, doing a thumbnail exercise. In the previous week on my YouTube channel, we did some color mixing exercises to help you define and get a cohesive color palette, and we're building every single week to paint a complete tutorial at the end of the month using all of these steps. So if you're ready to learn composition hacks, then let's dive in. So in the previous video of this series where we're talking about loose watercolor florals and my approach to painting them, we did a color study to get our color palette into this more fall, neutral pinks and greens and oranges. So the next element or step in the overall process of painting loose florals is once I have my color palette down, or I can do this in reverse order and start with composition, but next we're gonna do some thumbnail exercises for understanding our composition and kind of just studying it first so that we have a good idea or reference thumbnail that we can then paint from. So I usually don't sketch underneath my loose floral pieces. What I do instead is I sketch thumbnails on a separate sheet of paper just to brainstorm ideas for layout and composition. So here's my reference colors, and the overall composition that I'm going for with this piece is, because we're in this video series of painting the cover of my first book, is this C-curve shape that fits in this nice little corner. So what you'll do is either in a sketchbook or on a scrap piece of paper, I'm just using the back of some watercolor paper that I painted on. I'm going to sketch out a couple different thumbnails. You don't need to get these lines perfect or anything, but we're just doing a couple vertical rectangles. I'm using the orientation of portrait orientation because that is the orientation of this cover. But again, if you're doing a different style or fitting into a different space or composition that you want to try, then I would recommend doing both landscape and portrait and just trying out different versions of this exercise. So this is an exercise that I really expand on a lot inside of my course, The Art Within. Of composition, we do the ladybug exercise, and we do a few other really fun composition exercises. So if you want more info on that, or you want more detailed instruction on composition, make sure you check out that course. But basically all I need to do is just sketch out these thumbnails. And for floral composition, if I'm doing something that includes flowers all over my paper, then I will split my thumbnails into two lines that go down the center vertically and also horizontally. And this just is a little composition trick that helps me to break my piece into 4 different quadrants so I can study my shapes in each quadrant first instead of just looking at a blank sheet of paper and hoping for the best. I have a really great video on this style of composition on my YouTube channel that we'll link to in this video so you can check it out. But for this style of composition, for this series of videos that we're doing to paint in the last video, we'll be painting this piece. I have my C-curve composition. So I just start with my main curve, and maybe I want to see what would happen if I do a little bit of an S-curve. So a C-curve only curves one time, so it has one arch. An S-curve has 2. And so it doesn't actually need to look like an S, the letter S, but just making sure that it has these 2 arches. So this arch is much bigger and longer than the second one, so it's just got a little bit of a curve back and in. What if we make our C curve a little bit more arched? So we have it kind of the tips of maybe some leaves falling and pointing in towards the center a little bit more, kind of like how this cover is designed, instead of just pointing off to the edges. And then a C curve that is a bit fuller, and you can see the whole shape in there. So then once I have my main shape for my composition shapes that I cover inside of The Art Within and also inside Everyday Watercolor Companion course is L shape, V shape, S shape, C curve, etc. And there's a bunch more. And so if you want more details on those styles of composition, make sure you check out Everyday Watercolor Companion course. or the art within. The art within is for artists who are wanting to learn how to develop their own style. So now that I have my main curves, I'll even put these in red so you can see how I follow them. And we've got this C curve here and C curve here. So then I start just placing my main floral shapes. So all I'm doing is kind of sketching in these circles for my roses around that C curve. They don't all need to be touching or overlapping this red line for my C curve, but the main shape of this floral piece will be following that. So maybe I have stems and leaves that are directly on that line, and maybe a stem here as well. And we have our rose shapes here. Maybe this rose is just a little bit smaller than the rest. Maybe another little few buds back in here. So I'm just doing these exercises in 2 minutes or less. I can always, because it's just sketching, I can always start over. If I don't like something, I can just start with the same shape, the same curve, and do something a little bit differently. But because I'm going quick, it's making my brain noise kind of go away. I'm not allowing myself to overthink things too much. And this is where your happy accidents will happen. So I really like how this is flowing. It does feel a bit dense in this top corner. So I could maybe have another little leaflet here coming in or down in here. You can sketch really light in the beginning if you're, hesitating or you don't know what you're doing. But all I'm doing is I'm starting with my circle shape for my rose or my flower or whatever. And then I'll just go in and start to peel out these C curves. It's not, perfect. It doesn't look exactly like a rose. It's just a thumbnail sketch. So don't get too uptight or worried about what it's looking like. So then now we have our S curve. So this one I don't want to do the exact same thing that I just did here. So it's going to be slightly different than what I have on my cover because of the S curve element. But maybe I start with a rose here, and we have just a couple more roses directly, and maybe the smaller one up here, directly on that line for this one. And I'm probably not gonna like this one at all because of the S curve element. For it being in a corner like this, it just doesn't flow very good. Just makes it feel more empty on either side. So we can fill in these negative space gaps with some berries or buds, some leaves. But the main overall line is this S curve. So it's fine, but it's taking up way too much space. For a cover design, it wouldn't work at all. So this would be too cramped with my name and all of the stuff that you have to fit on a cover. For this one, we would maybe inch it up a little bit higher, but everyday watercolor, blah, 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 and then my name. And then we have a really high arched C curve. So let's tuck maybe one of our big flowers up in here, a smaller one on this corner, and maybe one that's touching this right here as our main flowers. So we'll just start to plug that in with our C curves for our flowers. And then we're following this curve. I like to follow my lines on the ends with stems. It's just an easy way to really accentuate whatever curve you're doing. And then just fill in some of these spaces around the smaller or the bigger flowers with little fluffy bits, leaves. And that's a pretty fun composition, but we have this creeping in, and that's probably gonna hit our title, so it probably wouldn't work for a cover, but it is a really nice composition because you have it peaking on the top left corner and then coming down into the top right and then a little bit on the bottom left. And now this curve, this C curve, is all the way visible, so we are not going off the edge of our cover or of our sheet of paper. So this is our biggest space here and here on the line, so I'm gonna put flowers right there because they'll tuck in nicely. And then maybe another one here where there's some space. And we'll add in a few more flowers to this one since we have a lot more line showing. So we've got, and I'm doing this all super quickly again because these thumbnail exercises are great for learning how to get ideas on paper quickly, but that's also where you just get some of your best ideas. It's kind of like automatic writing exercises for creative writers. If you're in a writer's block phase or something like that, just starting to write whatever comes to mind, a lot of times you get some gems that will come out and surprise you. So same thing with these thumbnail exercises. So I've got these lines, I'll put some stems and leaves on them. See what that shape looks like. Maybe tuck in some leaves back in these corners that are showing. And on this line. And peeking in down here to accentuate that C curve. So this composition would definitely not work for a cover design because we would have to squeeze in our title and whatnot pretty tightly up in here. But I would do this all the time when I was a wedding stationery designer, and I would have a discovery call with a client and they would tell me what their inspiration was, and I'd provide them with a few different thumbnail sketches of how I could see their invites looking. So, you know, for wedding invitations, you have a lot more text, and the text is usually pretty small with the names kind of bigger in the middle or somewhere around there, and then the details of the wedding down in here. So we have kind of a border. We could do a border around there with leaves and flowers around the edge, or you could do a motif similar to this C curve, but higher and tighter in the top left corner, like up in here, or a reflection of those two shapes down in here, and maybe some other stuff up in here. So thumbnail sketches aren't just great ideas for you as the individual artist coming up with ideas from your imagination or reference even, but also if you have clients that you're working with, if you're a wedding invitation designer or you're designing a cover of a book or something like that, then doing thumbnail exercises is such an underestimated step of the process of painting any type of subject matter that I definitely highly recommend, especially for floral compositions that you're doing kind of from scratch. So again, if you want more tips on the different shapes of composition, check out my course, Everyday Watercolor Companion course. And in the following steps of this series, we're gonna paint this whole piece. And so this is just a summary of some of the main thumbnail sketches that I would do for this cover because it's a C curve. And then obviously we tested out this S curve, which doesn't totally fit for a cover design, but it is still pretty nice if you wanted to put this like at the top of a wedding invitation or something like that, or you wanted it to just kind of overhang at the top instead of having this orientation of top left corner creeping roses with the title and whatnot at the bottom right. Or if you're making a greeting card, or you want to make a Mother's Day card, testing out different thumbnail exercises and arrangements and compositions for your flowers or whatever you're painting, if you're going to have text on it, is such a good idea, and also strengthens your muscle of being comfortable with composition. There you have it. I hope those thumbnail exercises were super helpful for you in painting floral pieces with different shapes. If you want to learn more about composition, make sure you go check out my course, The Art Within. I dive really deep into composition. I also dive into it inside of the Everyday Watercolor Companion course too, if The Art Within is just not in your price range. So check those both out. They're both really awesome, super in-depth courses on all things art and watercolor. So make sure you check them out. We'll link to both of them below, and comment below with something that you learned that was new today, or maybe if you have another composition trick, I would love to check them out in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video, where we are going to be covering loose watercolor roses step by step in many different angles and perspectives, so that we can finish off this 4-part series with my cover art from Everyday Watercolor. So I'll see you in the next video.